Here we are, friends of your marriage. And so we're going to tell you what happened last week and what we plan to do this week. So last week, we got into some really in-depth, heartfelt discussion about blended families. And you were coming from Moses. Can you just briefly give a recap?
Well, we talked a little bit about how Moses was one of the more documented blended families. We know that what happened was that Moses left his biological family and actually ended up marrying an Ethiopian woman, Zipporah, and her father-in-law was actually a Midian priest. And so he was definitely under a different influence, if you will, one that was dominant in that particular structure where he was, away with them. But then we know that he actually ended up being called back to his family, to his people. And once it is that he came back to his people, he met challenges even with his siblings, where they actually spoke against him because he had married this Ethiopian woman. And when they spoke against him, Scripture says God heard it. Which is significant to recognize that God actually stepped in to bring correction to somebody who would come against his servant. It was really interesting about the dynamics, not only that were documented with the blended family situation, but how it is that God actually brought correction about those that would come against his people.
Yeah, and God is there for you. So we are going to get more into blended families, give you practical examples, and just hopefully help and hope for anyone and all of us that are dealing with blended families. In addition to that, we want to remind you about the challenge, the couples challenge. Remember, that's important for you to have those discussions with each other. That's one of the main reasons that we offer the couples challenge. So we'd like you to discuss, why is it important to have friends of your marriage? We're going to also talk about enemies of your marriage and how they impact them. And we want you to remember the second challenge, which is to come up with a pet name for your spouse based on what you observe. And I have a pet name for you too, by the way. I already have mine. And we'll share that next time. So make sure that you join us. We miss you when you're not there, but we are praying for everyone. And hopefully we'll see everyone for the next Friends of Your Marriage.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to it. See you soon.
Bye.